Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So RUNICK Spright for the new format, new TCG format. So October 2022. I feel that the Ronin hit was very big. I think most people agree that running totally awesome. I don't think it's worth it anymore. Sure, you could go for swap, maybe go for dupe as well. But I mean, the combo, it kind of, you know, gigantic Spright, special summon, swap, and you have to keep it on the field, but that makes your board so weak to any form of disruption. Like one crow on that second swap off of the elf, that could stop you in your tracks. As you know, what's going to happen in one of these duels as well, and then you hardly have any follow-up plays. So, RUNICK Spright. I was sold on a build that was posted by, at least from Elijah Green, and I was completely sold on the Gale Dogra tech. That's you know, what I was about to say. His version, his combo is like, you know, Gale Dogra is not once per turn, so pay 3k to send one extra deck monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, obviously. So what he was saying, like, there is only one Spright starter in the deck. You know, your teleport, that costs you life points. And then use your 3k Gale Dogra, first of all, for example, for the Garura, you know, to get a draw. And then use it again for Kitkalos, you know, Kitkalos mill 5 for you. And that kind of increases your chances of having multiple names, multiple runic cards, runic spells, the quick play spells from your deck, at least in the graveyard, right? I like it a lot, but the big downside of that is that you're almost, you know, at 0 life points, so that's quite dangerous. So I'm not sure if you really want to send the Garura from your extra deck to the graveyard as well. I think it's just fine to use Gale Dogra once, sending Kitkalos for mill 5, and then, you know, go from there. As for the rest, again, there's a couple of ways I feel you can definitely run a deck. Some ratios that might sound a bit strange or might a bit weird maybe is one starter, one smashers, obviously, only 2 elf, triple blue, obviously, and then 1 red and carrot. You know, I don't need to explain those, but reason being is that with this particular build, I wanted to focus on as many runic spells as possible. It's basically, again, you opening 3 runic spells is completely busted, and you know, keep in mind that Gale Dogra is there for Kitkalos, milling 5, and go from there. It's plus Hyperia for a potential draw. It's really ridiculous. If you, I mean, if you have the chance, if you want to play runics, definitely get the cards now. You know, before weekends, the new formats, because RUNICK is definitely, I feel now, probably the way to go for Sprites, might be. Because again, I feel that you know, the loss of Ronin Totem was just far too big, and I don't think it's worth it still to, you know, go for Toad, but it is what it is. So the other point of the deck, I mean, it's basically deep draw, right? Deep draw, Spright, RUNICK, something like that. You're drawing so many cards. In his build, he was main decking triple field spell as well, and triple of the, whatchamacallit, the level 2 RUNICK. But there's just no space in the extra deck. So I went for a bit, you know, some small changes to his original build in the main deck and side deck. But as you know, saw in the side deck, there's, you know, many ways to, like Nibiru, should you main deck it, yes or no? I mean, it's super big against Tyr, but kind of against other matchups, so I'm not sure. Super Poly, even though it's a super strong card, probably, yeah. Because now in the current build, I think I only have spaces or you know, spots for 9 hand traps, so 3 Crow, 3 Imperm, and triple Super Poly. It's not really a hand trap, right? But you know, it could help you out against, and that's, I guess, the biggest weakness of the deck is Eradicator. So against Tier elements, searching Eradicator, that's why Crow is there. Imperms are there, potentially, right? So maybe Nibiru might. Maybe I should main deck it. I'm not sure about 3 copies of the field spell, because that might be a dead card. like opening multiples, I'm not sure. So I think 2 is fine, but again, opening it's really good, because again, it's so easy to get multiples in the grave, plus draw, plus Kid Kalos, milling 5, and you know, as soon as you have those draw 3 every turn, it's bonkers, it's ridiculous. So again, going first, get failed, it's fine here in this situation. You know, the red was able to, I think, negate it. Yeah, so Gale Dogra, mill 5. And I used Garuda as well. Yeah, for the next draw. And this, because you're running so, well, as you know, the instant fusion Runicks, they always have to be special summoned in the extra monster zone. So sometimes I do this, go for double gigantic to get that, you know, monster, that fusion monster, Runic fusion, out of my, you know, extra monster zone. And obviously I can't go for a link summon, because that will occupy the extra monster zone. So I'm looking at potential some small changes to the extra deck. Something that I think I'm running now, but wasn't here in the first duels, is the, what is it? Is it Soul Sweeper? You know which one I mean. Banish a monster from the opponent until their next end phase. Because, like, going first, and if your opponent is able to, like, they can steer to pump out the Kid Kalos during your turn, something like that, to banish it until the end of next turn, I think it's fine. It's okay. No Zeus package, because you rarely go into your battle phase. As in, never. Almost never. You either win by deck out, you know, banishing cards from your opponent's top deck, or, you know, the grind game. And you can go from there, or eventually out-resource your opponent with, you know, draw 3, draw 2 every turn, plus Hyperia, and, you know, it's Hyperia is a crazy card as well. It's a very solid normal summon, but, I mean, unlike Diva or Beaver, it's not an extra body on field, right? So the Runic tip here wasn't out because of the, what is it called? The Slumber, I believe the name is. The one that, what is it, makes one monster unaffected by, what is it, card effects or by battle once, that it cannot be destroyed, but the monster cannot attack. So that was my game winner there. Going second, yeah, 2 duels, I think, going second, and this is, I guess, an okay hand. You have the, here is the thing I was talking about. So people early format, I guess, are still playing Crow, Imperms, whatever, and like Crow or Imperm here, Imperm in case of failure, on your Spright Elf, that prevents the Toad from coming out. So, and it kind of basically cripples you. Okay, you have a follow-up play for next turn, for Spright Blue, Reborn Blue, and go from there, but still, that's super weak. So again, I try to get as many draws as possible. Go for the carrot as well, for the potential Imperm, Econ, something like that. Gigantic Spright is forced out. Well, carrot, red, right? Yeah, I think so, should be. So eventually go for Elf as well, but run into Crow. It's fine, because again, I have the Elf as well, plus the Super Poly. He wasn't able to Poly because, well, during my turn, because of, I used Starter, I think, yeah. But immediately going to Shotgun here, the Super Poly, to prevent, you know, the Elf from at least using its effect. We know the Mystic Mine is there, so we go for Elf, the one of Smashers, that's why it's there. Same for the one of Starter. I might make more. It might, I mean, it's still testing. Feedback is also appreciated, but I like it. I really like Runic Spright over the other versions I was using before. So, because it's again, you're making disruption as well, and for stuff like, let's say your opponent, if your opponent has something like Dark Ruler or Super Poly, you still have your Runic spells in your hand to play, if you have the field spell phase up, right? And yeah, hard draw the Gale, and that's indeed GG. I can't go into the battle phase, but again, you're just going to out-resource your opponent at that point. Last one, again, Steer is going second. The Crow is iffy. The thing is that maybe I should have kept the Crow to prevent at least the one Fusion Summon activation, but again, yeah, then again, it's whatever. I mean, look at that. You're milling, I think, every name here until this point. Plus, we know the Celiac is there, plus a field spell for a potential disruption during my turn. So the Hyperia draw is definitely going to be crucial. I already have Runic Tip, so that's okay. That's also a problem. The rank 4 exceed, yeah, for a potential fusion summon, so I need to prevent that one. Draw Imperm, that's not good. I obviously can't activate it, so the Dragostaphylia is forced out. Use Tip, probably Search. Was it, I think, the Mystical Space Typhoon? Yeah, should be. So use Yugioh, I believe the name is, yeah, Wings, searching the field spell. I definitely have to pop his Redoer indeed to prevent the fusion summon and potentially the field spell triggering as well, popping something on my side of the field. And again, because I searched that Mystical Space Typhoon Destruction, right, I can pop the Celiac. Sure, they'll get a search, but it's fine though. My Gigantic Spright resolves plus the field spell, and if you can resolve that, draw 3. I draw blue, fantastic. And keep in mind, the field spell is not once per turn, as in, if you activate another copy, that is. You can again use tip or whatever to again get back 3, or potentially draw 3. I overlooked the Masquerina, protecting the, is it 0 Boros, I think? Yeah, it should be. So that's my mistake. So I was like, I think this was my only out to go for Masquerina, and hope, I mean, I have so many outs, Super Poly, Smashers, the Runic cards that, you know, prevent attacking, negate the effect, so there are so many cards. So I was like, I need to keep drawing, and this is one that indeed prevents the attack declaration, so 0 Boros cannot attack. That's fine though. I mean, most importantly, I still have 1 level 2 on the field, so I can go from there. I draw into Super Poly, it's definitely one of my outs. I go for the Runic level 4, which is a dark, but here up until this point, I mean, I have the chat to search out Smashers, double Super Poly potentially for next turn. So here, I can establish my board and eventually try to go into the battle phase for, you know, next turn. Keep in mind, that's something that, with this deck, it's not really easy to play this deck. There are so many things you have to take into account, like, you know, skip your battle phase or attend your battle phase, skip it eventually, stuff like that. So this is cool. You have Dragostaphilia for negation, the Reno Heart is going to get destroyed by the Abomination in the end phase, Carrot is there for more negation rights, Spright Elf for potential reborn, and Masquerina for more link plays, even though I'm not really sure is there any... It's fine though. The level 2 is indeed going to get negated, so I like it. Short set, I really like the deck, but the suggestions are definitely welcome. I like the Hyperia, definitely solid for this particular build. I don't think I want to go for 3 because of the Gale Dogra, but I'm sold on a deck. It's really cool. So again, all feedback and suggestions are definitely welcome. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Leave them signing out. Peace.